Going into our winners finals match of the day between Sushi Ryders and Team Sundstrom. Sushi Ryders bringing 2 rider ships to the fray. Team Sundstrom, I believe, is a Skyborn ship and some members from Why So Serious, along with some miscellaneous volunteers filling out their ranks. So first off, for the Sushi Ryders, we have a sandwich piloted by Finks. It is a Hades Center Mobula, paired with dual Artemis, Banshee Light Carronade for the close range. Their ally, Finks.exe, piloted by Zedian. It is a Gatling Banshee Squid with a rear mine launcher. Their opponents, Team Sundstrom. First we have the Skyborn, piloted by Sundstrom. Center Hades Mobula, paired with dual Artemis, light flak on the lower left wing, Gatling on the far right wing. And their ally is the Skyborn's Guard. It's an accurate ship name, I suppose. Piloted by Hellfire, it is a light carronade flamethrower squid with a rear Artemis. So already starting to take incoming damage from the sandwich. Skyborn's Guard has elected to go with the disable style of squid that has kind of fallen out of practice with the nerfs to the light carronade and the flamethrower, whereas Finks.exe is bringing the DPS squid with the Gatling Banshee. And now Finks.exe is moving in to engage the Mobula to dual focus them with the sandwich. Skyborn is rising up, trying to screen out the red Mobula's shots. And maybe Finks.exe has been a little too aggressive with their positioning here. Sandwich... Well, Skyborn is being forced to move forward here, back into the Sandwich's gunner arcs. And, oh, Skyborn going to for a huge ram on the Finks.exe, pushing him away, knocking out his balloon. And this means the Skyborn and the Sandwich going at it in an even engagement. Unfortunately, the Skyborn, already extremely heavily damaged from the beginning of that fight, means the Sandwich will take it handily. Sandwich utilizing its close-range guns, putting some damage onto the Skyborn Guard's balloon. Also, I like that I read the ship loadouts not 60 seconds ago, and I've already forgotten the Mobula's secondary guns. Finks.exe did take a lot of damage from that previous fight. They could get focused down very quickly if they're caught out in the open. Skyborn's Guard continuing to distract red team to give the Skyborn enough time to rejoin this fight. Looks like Skyborn's target going to be the Sandwich. Sandwich being forced back until they manage to get a spot on the blue Mobula. Sandwich being forced to blind fire here. You see a lot of those Hades shots missing. And now the Skyborn's Guard. A nice hydrogen rising up here. The dual focus, the red Mobula. Sandwich going to be forced down here. As I double check ship guns. Also, my foot has fallen asleep, and this is unfortunate for me. The Finks.exe is not going to be able to get away from this fight. Disabling power going to knock out the balloon of the red squid and just ride him down, finish them off. And they are taking this fight. Finks is trying to take this fight back to red spawn so that maybe Sandwich could come back in and ambush one of these ships. And they're holding together pretty well, surprisingly. Skyborn hasn't been contributing much firepower to this chase. Looks like Sandwich's target going to be the Skyborn. In the meantime, the Finks.exe duking off with the Skyborn, trying to force him away with a Gatling gun. I think Finks.exe is comfortable taking this 1v1 fight because they do have the better gun arcs. The Skyborn's Guard, their light carronade, not going to be particularly useful if the Finks.exe is able to maintain their lower relative positioning to the target. Light carronade, not good at shooting downward. So that means the Finks.exe staying low is able to fire on Skyborn's Guard in relative safety. And because the Skyborn's Guard has realized that, he decided to peel off and deal with the sandwich, and Finks.exe finishing them off with the Gatling Banshee. And now the Skyborn has been isolated yet again. Finks.exe I'm going to use some stamina to drop down, ride them into the ground. Bump them down a little bit too. Oh, oh no! Oh, no! No! Finks. Maybe being a little too aggressive. The Skyborn was able to get their Gatling just barely in arc to knock down their whole armor as they went for the downward bump. So giving up a kill that they might not have wanted to, but Sandwich does pick up the kill on the heavily damaged Mobula. And at the very least, that means that Finks.exe gets to spawn back in at full health. So, you know, there's a silver lining coming out of that, that questionable body blocking. Sandwich firing out some warning shots. They don't know where the Skyborn has elected to spawn, so they don't feel comfortable fully committing to a fight just yet. They're going to continue to back up into their spawn. Finks.exe is taking the forward position. Finks.exe engaging the Skyborn's Guard. And Skyborn has taken the southern position, and he's now emerging from the southern mountain range. But he's a little too far out. You see the accuracy of the Hades here is not great. I think he's a little bit too far away. Sandwich going to be engaging the close range guns on Skyborn's Guard, light carroning, putting damage onto the balloon. And Finks.exe I think is going to be able to finish off the Skyborn's Guard here with the Banshees, as they do actually Banshees from the Sandwich, finishing them off. The blue squid just engaging a little too early. Maybe blue team a bit confident in the long range accuracy of their Hades, but the Skyborn took too long to get into that fight and just allowed the squid to get dual teamed. And now, as we've seen time and time again, one kill is about to become two, I believe. If the Skyborn wants to stay alive here, then we're gonna have to see some crazy jukes. And that certainly is something that the Mobula is. You know, Mobula is good at dodging incoming shots, utilizing its up-down mobility, but Sandwich has some pretty good gunners. Now Skyborn has managed to stay alive long enough for the Skyborn's Guard to come back in and guard them. Putting a few light carronade shots into the Finks.exe's balloon. Not able to take down the balloon, unfortunately, meaning the Finks.exe has continued mostly uncontested to flank the Skyborn and finish them off. And that was a pretty one-sided match. Maybe some communications issue. It seemed like Hellfire and Sundstrom were having some difficulty engaging together, keeping their ships, maintaining their formation, which allowed Sushi Ryders just to pick them apart.